Namaskar. Welcome once again to Nalanda's WebShaala. Once again, one and only synonymous with Nalanda, our creator, Padma Bhushan Dr. Srimati Kanak Rele. We will continue with ma'am's session once again. I would like to tell you a question which has been sent by our student from Mauritius, Gopika.
Okay.
So please throw some light on her question.
Yeah, whatever she says,
Correct.
I would like to explain because
Sure.
I think she was our student. She must have
Yes.
attended some lectures
Yes,
of mine.
yes,
Okay.
sure. So the question is, what are the difficulties you faced during the process of creating a piece centered on a strong character like Kubja, and also during the transition process from being you to the character? This is your first question.
Okay.
I'll take your leave. I'm listening from you.
Please.
Thank
go
you
ahead.
so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Here I wrote down certain pertinent notes for them, and that is that you have to understand that this entire concept of Kubja, I got involved with the items that I created around women characters. Now there's a very interesting story behind Kubja, and that is that there's a very great poet. He was our education secretary also. He's from Odisha, Odia poet, Dr. Sitakant Mohapatra. And I was pretty close to him, and he's a very fine poet. Though he was a very big officer of the government of India, and I asked him, I said, sir, I was just reading some book, some very beautiful lyrics, and suddenly I came across this lyric, and when I saw it, I read the translation or something somewhere, and it mentioned that it was originally written by Dr. Sitakant Mohapatra, and it was about this character. All of us know this character very well, and that is Kubja. So I went to Dr. Sitakant Mohapatra, and I said, there is a lovely poem by you, and it would be lovely to dance it. He said, you have all my blessings, take it. And I said, sir, I've got one small problem, and the problem is that I don't dance to Oriya. He wrote in Oriya because he's from Odisha. I dance only to Malayalam, and written by Kavalam Narayana. Oh, but he's a dear friend of mine. Go ahead, ask Kavalam to cast my poem in Malayalam. That is how this great item, I think it has made me world famous. I've performed it all over the world, and wherever I go, people want to know Kubja all the time, and it's a beautiful item. I looked at Kubja. You all know the story of Kubja. She was a hunchbacked servant of Kamsa, the evil king, and it was her job to carry pots full of chandana paste to the king's abode, and she was all deformed. She had a huge hump on her back. Now I started reading the poem, and some ideas started coming to me, and I said, this hump can be interpreted as the hump that a woman suffers. Woman in India has been relegated to a terrible position. It has always angered me as a woman to see women suffer. And this is where I saw Kubja representing the terribly tortured and oppressed soul of the Indian woman. She's bent double. The story is that she's supposed to carry her heavy pots full of chandana paste that she has made and take them to Kamsa's abode, and where she would anoint Kamsa's body with the chandana paste. The paste was actually meant for the Lord, for Krishna. And this is the story. And a beautiful idea started unfolding in my mind. I discussed it with Kavalam. Kavalam has written it in Malayalam. And that is where the story, but we have been very true to the sequence in which Dr. Sitakant Mohapatra has written this poem. And she says that I await here on the roads of this great Mathura Nagari. Oh Krishna, I am looking for you everywhere. When will you come? Her entire soul, something tells her from within that she is going to get respite. she'll be released from this terrible hump. I have interpreted the hump as a hump that most of us, maybe probably I do not belong to that category, but the women of India have suffered the oppression of the society, oppression of also their men folk. And here she says that I look for you, I look for everywhere. Oh Krishna, when will you come and give me succor? And what happens? She says that I have no husband. Please remember, I am only one Sairandri, that is a serving wench. Please understand what is being said there. And my entire life is nishphala, useless life. And it is just like an arid place, full of dust and sand. And then she's all piling up. She says, oh Krishna, I am that Kamsas, Ekanta Darsi. I am the Darsi, serving wench of that evil Kamsa, Ekanta, in privacy. Please understand what this means. Huh? And what will I do, oh Krishna? Will you not come? People say you pity everybody. I beg you. Please, I beg you. Please come Krishna, and give me a release from these terrible bonds. I have taken the bonds with Kavalam's permission as a person, a woman who suffers in India. Traditionally, how Indian women have suffered. And because of this, I said, I will do this item. And there, I could use my deep knowledge of Kathakali, which I have learned. I adapted it to Mohiniyattam. This particular item is in Mohiniyattam, and the music has been set by Kavalam. And then when she loses all her hopes, oh Krishna, you will not come. I'm begging you, oh Krishna, will you not come and release me from these awful bonds? What are these bonds? These bonds are the Indian society which has tied up a woman, I'm not saying the woman, a woman again and again in terrible bonds. The woman in India now is raising her head and she wants to be free to express herself. That is what Kubja wanted. Oh Krishna, I look for you everywhere. And Krishna comes. Krishna comes and she hears him coming. She goes running to him. Krishna, you have come. Oh Krishna, you have come. And Krishna smiles at her. And you know what he asks in the poem? He says, give me a tilak of the chandana paste that you have made. Chandana represents purity in our society, purity of soul. It's exquisite. And Kubja does the tilaka on Krishna's forehead. This tilaka liberates her, and then she becomes straight. The story goes, in the one story says that Krishna sort of rubbed his hands on her back and she became straight. But here Krishna has set her, because Krishna says, just make a tilak on my forehead, and she makes that tilak. And she's released, she's broken all the bonds. And she says, Anandamaya, I'm full of that great Ananda. Oh, great Ananda. Oh Krishna, where are you? And then she surrenders at his feet. Now, this is the sort of item. I've got two sets of items, all women oriented. I'm a woman. I go near women. I understand what women in India have been suffering, and my heart bleeds. So this is one thing, one section of the whole thing, where these are the dedicated women who contemplate upon the Lord, whosoever is the Lord, and they desire relief and release from their regular bonds of the society, and with their deep upasana, these women go near the great lords and they are given release. Kubja was also one such person whose suffering had sort of dripped into her whole body. But that dripping had cleansed it. Krishna comes and releases it. And that is where she said, Anandamayan, oh, hey, Anadi Ghana Shyama Krishna. You don't have beginning or you don't have end. Oh Krishna, please, I surrender at your feet. Now this is one set of items which I have done. My choreography for the last 30 years or maybe even more has focused on woman. And I don't say which woman, X, Y, Z, Mr., Miss, anything. Nothing of that sort. The woman of India. And how many millennia? Hundreds of years. This woman has been crushed. This woman has been sucked. But the Indian woman stands up. Whatever may happen, whatever may stop her, may torture her, but the Indian woman stands straight, proud, very proud to be the woman. And this is what touched my soul. But I say that I've got two sets. On one side you have Kubja, who was a dasi, who was a serving wench in Kamsa's household, and she wanted to be released. You can imagine, I mean, my mind rushed when she said that Kanavanilya, Jnanuru Sairandri, I have no husband, or Krishna, I have no husband, I am only a serving wench. There I had to show the agony of all the exploited women of India. I wanted to show rape, but then I said, no, I have to be very dignified. And I just showed it like this. And she struggles and then surrenders. This is what happens to us. On the other side, there are characters which from our, whatever you say, legends or whatever it is. To me, I don't care who are they, whether they are from legends, from stories or whatever it is. But they once again represent women of India. Now this set of people, this set of women had suffered a lot at the hands of the society. But they did not surrender. They stood straight. And who belongs to this category? Great people. Gandhari. Gandhari is there. Draupadi is there. All these characters are there. They fought with the world. They said, whatever may happen, but we are not going to succumb. And these characters touched me so much. I'm so grateful. I'm so joyous. I'm so happy to God that he sort of saw to it that I collaborated with my dear friend, late Shri Kavalam Narayana Panikar. I miss him terribly. But those items which we created organically, there's a very interesting story behind this, and that is that when I read out what I wanted in this, he sort of blew his top. He said, "Oh, you are being extremely adventurous and you are going against the society." I said, "Why? Why are you saying so against the society? If I represent the agony of the Indian woman, not a Indian woman, the Indian woman. If I want to do that, I'm telling the true story of what happens to women in our country. Why should you not write? Oh, no. I don't think I want to write. You're being very sort of, you're going antisocial, this, that." Then that Mrs. Panikar came to my head and she fired her husband. So what Kanak says is true, and you must write for her. And then unfolded this beautiful lyrics of his, which he gave me. Now, on one side you have sacrificing women like Kubja. Other side you have these people like Draupadi, Gandhari, and other women. I went to very naturally to Mahabharata. But there are so many other characters. And then once when I was reading, I read a lot and all that, and I came across Lord Buddha's wife, Yashodhara. What does she represent? Even today I feel so deeply. I envisaged her, the woman who suffered. Eventually Buddha comes to her and she follows him and becomes a nun. But there I imagined that is where Buddha has blessed her, but then she rises, the woman who was so true to Buddha, her body and soul belonged to him. And this woman, when she stands up, she becomes equal to the Buddha. And I'm so grateful that Kavalam understood this. He said this is a beautiful idea. And I think that particular item I love very much. I love Kubja also. I performed it all over the world. And I love Yashodhara also. Because both these women suffered. But the way they suffered their souls went on getting cleansed, and then eventually when their love erupts, it's pure, it's beautiful. Now these are my items which I discuss, which I present. If anybody wants to learn them, you are most welcome and come and meet me. I would love to teach you.
So can I add to this
Please,
only?
please, I
So
would like to.
the question also says that during the transition process, do you face any difficulties from you to the character?
Look, here you are talking about the aesthetic principles of India. They are Rasa Sutra. How do you represent the rasa? How do I represent the rasa? I have to represent. I told you the story of Kubja. I told you this story. Am I a Kubja? No, I am not a Kubja. I have not suffered like this, and I thank God and the society. I belong to that sort of a family which has given full freedom to a woman. I have enjoyed freedom. I have enjoyed intellectual freedom. I have enjoyed artistic freedom. I have enjoyed all sorts of freedoms. Now when this happens, then I have really felt and experienced these characters. But now what is this question?
So then you go to the Natya-shastric tradition
Yes,
of
I
how
know.
to
Yes,
become
but
the
now-
character.
Yeah, but then you will say, many of my students have asked, Kanak Ben, how do you do this? You have not suffered like this. Do I have to suffer? And then I remember my guru's words. Whenever I used to enact, whenever I did, he would say one thing in his broken Hindi, tum mat bano. Now, what is it? I mean, I used to giggle when I was young. I said, Guruji has flipped. And tum mat bano, when I am Kanak. I am his student. Of course, I adored him. And I would not even dare to look him straight in the eye. But he was there. And I kept on wondering. I said, what's this tum mat bano all the time? Eventually, one day, suddenly, the whole understanding exploded in my brain, in my being. If I am Kanak, how will I do this Kubja? How will I do Draupadi? How will I do all these things? I am Kanak. Then I have not suffered like them. How do I do that? That is the time when I decided that I learned the theory of Abhinaya from the Natya Shastra.
Okay.
Natya Shastra is something which has given me so much of inspiration. And there, I would tell all the students, don't laugh. They say, oh, Kanak is talking about Natya Shastra. Who is that? No. There is everything that is given everywhere. And what does Bharata say? I mean, this is something which I've always given left, right and center to all my students. And he says, Yoyam Swabhava Lokasya. Yoyam Swabhava Lokasya. That which is the Swabhava, that attitude or nature of Loka. Not a person, but Loka. Yoyam Swabhava Lokasya Sukha Dukkha Samanvita, in which the Sukhas and Dukkhas of all the human beings are to be found. That means that your entire emotional gamut he covers. So Yoyam Swabhava Lokasya Sukha Dukkha Samanvita Sa Anga Adi Abhinaya Upeta, and that which is manifested by Anga and other Abhinayas. That means that the Vachika, Aharya, Satvika, all these Abhinayas are used to present it to the world, but that is blossoming and that is art.
So you have to transform to a different level, on the artistic level, and
Yeah,
to get
but-
your own.
I'm not supposed to, I don't know, how can I do that? How did I know what is Draupadi? Oh, I didn't know that. I wouldn't know what is Kubja. How would I know Kubja? I won't know. But you see, empathy and sympathy. I empathized and I sympathized. And then I felt like within my body, within me, I felt what must have happened to this woman. I had to feel it. And this I could feel because I studied Bharata. I studied my tradition. I would excuse myself on this plane, this level. I don't know much about the Western system of projecting human emotions. I don't know anything. I have not even studied all these things. So the major thing is that I present the whole thing as taught and as propounded by my scholars, my Indians. And that is why I am giving you this one quote of Bharata himself, that Nyoyam Swabhava Lokasya Sukha Dukkha Samanvita. All our sukhas and dukhas are there, and that is Natya. So that is there. But then, sa anga adi abhinaya upeta. That those feelings, when they are manifested by the four abhinayas,
Correct.
that is Natya Vidya Vidya.
Yeah. So we go to the next question. Before that, I would also like to say, dear madam,
Yes.
so glad to see you alive. Live. Sorry.
Who is this?
This is Tikshna.
Tikshna.
From Sri Lanka.
From Sri Lanka, yes.
So
yes.
I'll read it out to you after
Please.
we finished one more question,
Yes,
which
yes.
has been raised by Lata Surendraji.
Okay.
She's also studied aesthetics.
I know her. I know her
You
very
know her
well.
very well.
I know her
So
very well.
her question is like as follows: How vital is embodied spontaneity in the delineation of characters that neither the performer nor the viewer has any experience of in the real world?
Yeah, okay.
Do you think it could be inculcated, or does it necessitate a higher awareness of going beyond just a technique to have the very ism relate the universal in the particular?
I understand what she's saying. She's going like this. When I go like this. These are the two directions. She says that, but I said unless and until you know the theory of Bharata. Bharata tells you how to feel those characters, but he doesn't say that you will. My guru used to say, तुम मत बनो, ये कनकम नहीं है, ये कनकम नहीं है, ये नाटकम है. What did he mean by this? In his broken Hindi, he told me this. And the same thing once I was talking to Kavalam Narayana Panikar, dear friend of mine. Then we were just talking. And we used to love discussing Abhinaya, all Shastras and all that. And he said, Kanak, have you realized one thing? I said, Kavalam, what happens to me? When I do these beautiful items, I do Kubja, I do Gandhari. And I literally cried. I mean, tears rolled down my eyes. So, Kavalam, this happens to me. And damn it, after the show, I do like this and go away. I have not cried. It doesn't hurt me at all. But I cried. I cried at that point. Why did I cry? Why did I cry? Can you explain to me why I went there? And he said that, Kanak, have you experienced one thing? When you cried on the stage, empathizing and sympathizing with these women, I think you have come to love these women. I said, yes, I have. Do you know one thing? When you shed tears, those are not the hot tears, they are the cold tears. And I was stunned. I said, yes, it is that. It is that they are cold tears. He said, if they are hot tears, they are Kanak's tears. The cold tears are Draupadi's tears. And all these characters' tears. Now this very clearly tells you, you are enacting. You are enacting, you are representing, you are molding all your movements and everything. You are trying to catch hold of your audience and say, look, this happened to Draupadi, this happened to Kubja, this happened to Gandhari, this happened to them. And then what happens? And then there is a portion in Gandhari where she, one after the other, she hears that her children are dead on the Kurukshetra war. And every time I say, how Uru Vajrapata? This is Vajrapata. And she sort of, and now I double up with absolute anguish, because that woman's anguish goes down her body. She has tied a bandage on her eyes because her husband was blind. And this is how Uru Vajrapata. First, she hears so many of her sons were butchered. Second is Dushasana's belly was ripped open by Bhimsen. And third is Duryodhana's thigh was shattered. Now every time she has Uru Vajrapatama. Now when I do this and I sort of get convulsed. Now I do this, and to my great horror I sometimes found it difficult to disengage my palms. What happened to me at that time? I am not bad. I am nothing. I don't know. I haven't suffered like this. But the emotion is so great. And I described this to Kavala, and I described it to some other friends of mine also. And they said that for that time being, you broke the bondage and everything around you. and you went to that world.
Correct.
That world of Indian tradition, and which we are very happy, which I am. I'm an Indian. I love my aesthetics. I love my country and my system.
Thank
So,
Thank you so much. So going back to Tikshna's,
yes, what does he say?
so he is saying, dear madam, so glad to see you on FB Live.
Okay.
As you know, after returning to Sri Lanka,
Yes.
I started again reading the Buddhist philosophy.
Yes.
As you know, what moksha is in that is different from the moksha
Moksha.
what we reach through dance.
Yes.
But still, as a dancer, to reach to that moksha in dance, what is the way? Is that the abhinaya or concentration of the movement in the nritya, pure dance? Is it that? That is what he's
Also,
asking.
he's distinguishing between Nritya and Nritya.
He
That's what he says, no?
no, as per Natya Shastra,
Yes,
he's
yes.
saying. So he's saying, how do you reach moksha through dance? According to the Natya Shastric tradition. Can you? And how is it? Is it
moksha? Moksha is a very, very intangible concept. Moksha is available only to the great scholars and sadhus.
But we always say that when we dance,
Yes.
we get one with the
Yes,
ultimate.
we get one. I had a big discussion about
So
this.
can we
one
go
or
through
two
Nritya?
of the greatest aestheticians of one was Dr. Raghavan. You have read about him, and I asked him this question: what happens? And we used to have lovely discussions. Whenever he landed in Mumbai, he would call me, Kanak, come and let us have discussions. So I used to go there, and then I said, if this is so. I mean, one thing that used to trouble me very much is that if I, as a dancer, I go to the Shantarasa. Shantarasa Bharata doesn't propound, but it is very much endemic in our society now. If I do Shantarasa, and if I become one with that concept, I'll leave the world and run away. I'm not going to stay here at all, because that is what the tapasvis do. The tapasvis in your society do that. So I said, what is this? And then he discussed with me and he said, look here, you know what happens? What his aim is that you quieten all your worldly pulls and pushes when you get up to sit down to do abhinaya. You are going to do abhinaya, cleanse your mind of everything, and then from that shanta, come to the mundane world and then interpret all the rasas. Your mind would have been cleansed of your personal feelings and your personal reactions to every possible situation. This is the time when you will merge into the totality of art. And then you will be capable of doing. He said, I've been observing you. You are able to do this. And yes, today I say that he's unable to do that.
Correct.
Yes.
Very good. So there's one more question from Radhika Nair from Doha.
Oh,
She's there and she's asking you, Namaste, miss.
Yeah.
So happy to see you, miss. What would you like to say to artists like us who is struggling in between of making and earning with profession, but still struggling to reach the passion of performing and teaching in this new world of modernization?
Yes.
Can you please guide us? This is the last question.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. This is something, I also belong to this world. I have not lived away from this world. I've had to earn. I've had to do so many things. But let me tell you one thing. When it came, the big question came in front of me. And the question was, there was an option thrown at me by fate. Do you want to succeed as a dancer? Do you love your dance most deeply, or you would like to get recognition and get adjusted to the world? It was a tremendous thing which went on and on and on and on over here. And every time, I'm not boasting, every time I told the Lord above, I want to dance and I want to serve my dance. So let me be, I'm not very, I have not made money, I have not done anything. Whatever I have done, He has told me what to do. But I'm very happy that at this age, I feel that I've been able to serve the cause of Indian dance a little bit, which I love.
Definitely. So basically also in this situation, in modern situation also,
Yes.
You agree that we have to stick to the basic tenets of
Absolutely.
Natya Shastra?
Absolutely.
Continue with the purity of the art form.
You obey the tenets of Natya Shastra. Study it, make it your own, and then when it comes to interpreting, I mean, it's up to you. If you are a teacher, you will see that you will have to teach your students. I have taught you.
Yes.
I have taught hundreds of girls,
Definitely.
and many of them are so successful. My students are so successful. I'm very happy and proud. I don't know what they are doing in their lives. I don't know. But I feel that whatever little I could give them, I think they must be doing justice to that. And when they do justice to that, they are surrendering to the greatness of the Indian culture. Then you please don't tamper, don't start misinterpreting Natya Shastra this way or that way. Don't do that at all. My request to all of you is be true to your country, be true to your culture, and get the blessings of the Lord above.
Thank you so much, Kanak Ben.
Yes, sir.
There is one more session. This is, we are going to continue your talks in this WebShaala on Monday also.
Yes.
So again, we request the viewers and everybody that is on 11th May at 6 p.m. same time, Monday. And
What is going to be the topic that day?
we will also ask, tell the viewers to question.
Yes.
So again, we'll have a question answer, and
Okay.
also carrying your legacy of
I may
Natya Shastra.
request that today I have talked about Abhinaya.
Correct.
Earlier on the first day I talked about something else, what is the education part.
Correct.
Abhinaya, how to transform yourself from this world to some world which you don't know, but which is very real to you. So I have done. Now let them touch something else.
Yes,
which
sure.
also concerns all the students.
Sure.
But I would love to elucidate. I'll be very happy to answer if
Definitely.
I can.
So we anyways will follow and see what questions have been asked. Thank you so much. See you again on Monday. Thank you so much.
Namaskaram.